Well, good morning and welcome to another episode of Ian Smissen's Photography. Yesterday I did a quick trip to Point Henry near Geelong just to have a look to see if there are any birds feeding on the mudflats. I didn't even have the camera with me, but I thought it might be a useful pre-trip to see if it was going to be worth coming out today. It turns out that it was just the wrong time of the tide. There was really not a lot going on, and everything that was going on was way too far away. But when I was coming back, I spotted a landscape shot that I thought I might take. Now, Point Henry and landscape photography are usually not used in the same sentence, because it's really an old industrial site. There used to be a salt works there, and there's also an old Alcoa aluminium smelter, which has now been decommissioned and being demolished. So it's really just a lot of scrubby salt bush and some old salt pans. But I did spot one gem in what was otherwise a wasteland, but it relied on getting a good sunrise. So let's just see how I went. This morning I'm out at Point Henry, just east of Geelong, and you won't be able to see it in the background because it's a little bit too dark yet, but there's the old Alcoa aluminium smelter out on the point, and the rest of the surrounds are salt works or old salt works down over here in the south, and these salt pans that have just been left for years, and they're now ephemeral lakes. We've had a fair bit of rain over the last few weeks, and so this was a dry salt pan over summer, but it's filled up and it's now starting to evaporate. And I found this little dead bush in the middle of this salt pan, and I've come out to the southwest side facing northeast into the rising sun. These mosquitoes are driving me nuts, but what can you do? You've got to do it for art, right? And I got up early this morning and checked the cloud cover, and the app that I was using suggested that there was no low cloud, but there was a fair bit of mid cloud and a bit of high cloud. And so I'm hoping that no low cloud means that we get the sun rising up underneath these clouds and we get some nice pink colour. Now, there's some beautiful colour there at the moment. It's just not as intense as I had hoped for. So I'll just switch to video and show you what I'm looking at here. And if I zoom out a little bit, you'll see what I've got. So I've fiddled around with the tripod to get it at the right height so that I could just be shooting in the reflection of the lake. I didn't want any of the scrubby salt bush and other bushes on the horizon because it just would have been this little dark line across it, and I don't want to be shooting the sky unless it really brightens up. I really just want to focus in on this tree and the reflections of the clouds underneath it. So I think I've got the framing that I want. Now it's just waiting to see what happens with the sky. The sunrise is going to be almost directly in front of me, just a little bit to the right, and I might have to move up the bank of this little pond a little bit to get more reflection. But there's a electricity pole just to the right of where I'm framing, and if I move too much over that way, I get the reflection of that pole in the water as well. So the next thing that I've got to worry about is just what shutter speed am I using. There's just a little bit of wind coming up now, so the ripples are coming, and so I want enough shutter speed. I want a fast enough shutter speed to be able to capture those ripples as a starting point, but then to slow it down to flatten those out. So now it's just a matter of continuing to shoot and to see if we get some colour in the sky. It's looking good at the moment, but you never know. One of the benefits of shooting in this really early morning light is that I can slow the shutter speed down to 5 seconds just by dropping the aperture to f11. I don't need to put any filters on the front and then fiddle around with that. The light changes very quickly at this time of the day though, so I may need to do that a little bit later depending on how much light there is and whether the sky pinks up or not. Well, that colour is just seemingly disappearing already. So what I might do, there's some interesting cloud over here on the left, and I'm fortunate now that I've got tripod holes here so I can bring the tripod back to exactly the same position if I need to. But I might just move a little bit closer to you or a little bit further away and see if I can get some better reflections, because this, oh no, that's actually looking good now. There's just enough high wind to move those clouds a little bit, and so the reflections are changing constantly. But let's just take another one here. Push the shutter speed out a little bit. See, already 3 minutes ago I was shooting at f11 and it was giving me 5 seconds. It's now 2 seconds. So I'm going to push that up to f16, which gives me 4 seconds. Just on 5 seconds, depending on how much dark cloud is in the reflection. No, that's not working, and if I go any further in, I'll be up to my knees in mud. There's a reflection of a little bright patch in the sky just at the top of the frame there, so I might need to raise the tripod a little bit. Get rid of some mosquitoes and reframe this. And just keep shooting. Go away, mosquitoes. They should all disappear once the sun comes up, but in the meantime, I've got 20 minutes of smacking insects.
I should have stopped there. That was the best shot, but I spent the next 15 minutes in vain trying to get a better shot and getting eaten by mosquitoes as the colour drifted away.
So the sun is now up, the reflection off the water has dropped off, other than a really low angle on those clouds. And I'm done for the morning. So if you've liked this video, please subscribe, click the little bell to get notified when I create new videos. Like, share, tell your friends, but remember, pixels are free, so get out there and shoot more. Bye for now.